On today's episode, 21-year-old designer Valentin is going to share with us the process of how he built $1 million design agency building e-commerce website. Did I mention he's only 21? This is a super inspiring conversation. Check it out. Hi, Valentin. What's up? Welcome to the
Hi.
show. Thank you for coming to talk with me today. What's up?
Thank you. I'm very, very happy to talk with you.
Where are you calling from? Where are you based?
Currently, I'm in Potsdam. I don't know if anyone knows it, but it's like near Berlin. So
Yeah,
right
in
now,
Germany.
in Germany, exactly.
Nice. All right. So I would love to hear your story. You've intrigued me over Instagram about how you built your 7-figure agency. So I want to hear the story. Let's start at the beginning. Like what was your first job? Like how did you learn about design, web design?
Like the beginning.
Yeah, straight beginning.
All
Like
right.
what's the
Yeah.
story?
So for context, yeah, as I'm just like 21 years old, it's still started at like 16, so 5 years ago. And then it started with, I think the first project was with Wix. And then we started because like I'm very much into weightlifting. And then I always thought about how can you like monetize my skills, or that I'm always creating weightlifting plans for me. And then we just started, or with a friend of mine, I started like a small, very, very small business where we just or we just wanted to create like personalized training plans. And then, as I said, we set those things up through Wix, but it didn't work at all because we had no skills at all. We didn't know how marketing works, how design works, or at least like anything about websites. It was so bad structured, the whole website. So that's why it didn't very much worked at all. But I just loved the thing about creating website and so on. And then it just came into the next project. The next project was like, what was it again? I think one of the first projects were like dropshipping. So this way I came into Shopify and into e-commerce.
When you say next project is you
Yes.
tried to start another business. So you
So
thought about
I've always had like
weightlifting?
2 or 3 small businesses on the side. So always, because I always wanted to have something when I get out of high school. So I've been doing like so many weird things, but so
you started a drop shipping business.
Dropshipping through Shopify, and then I started started to look a bit more into Shopify and how things.
And all of this while you're in high school.
Yeah. So like before high school, I think like 10th grade.
Oh, crazy.
10th grade, probably, yes. And and then like the thing with dropshipping, and then I've seen certain things about e-commerce, and it really works quite well. I think like my best day was like 1,000 euros in revenue. So for me, it was huge because like I've always said, that's probably one important thing there. I've always had like very small job at the side at the bakery. And then I made like 400 euros or like $400, $500. And I've always invested those small dollars into my businesses, into my marketing and so on. So that's why I had like a small capital to work with. So it worked sometimes, but it just was not something that I was passionate about, because like about dropshipping,
what were you selling?
You don't like to talk about it. You just talk about, I have a shop, and do this and that, but you never want to say, I'm just like buying from AliExpress and then selling it again for like a profit. It's not nothing yet. You can talk about passionate. So that's why for me, it was the logic next step probably to do something by my own. So that's why we've created I've been getting into clothing, and I've been trying some things out there. And then I started to get a bit more serious because I've been doing it with my girlfriend this time, Lily. And then we've been creating this business, and we've probably invested. Yeah. So for us, it was very much money. It's like 20, 30,000 over like a span of 2 years, only from those small jobs. So it was it was quite a hustle, I would say. But this way we've, or at least like I've been connecting a lot through LinkedIn, through other agencies and so on. And I've seen certain things. And while I was
connecting with who? So you had, so I understand.
Yeah, sure.
Now, so you stopped doing the drop shipping. Now you have a clothing brand, which you're selling online. So it's an e-commerce shop as well, but for clothing this time. And who are you connecting with LinkedIn on?
probably more or mostly like just other agencies that wanted to sell something to us, but I was just very curious what they wanted to do and so on. And then we've connected with one like bigger D2C, like direct to consumer brand agency, which is called Nico Frank. And then it started to that I've been getting like more and more, or just like a better network, I would say. And
they wanted to sell you on design projects, branding projects, web design projects. What did
like
they want to sell
marketing.
you?
So from them, it was just like Facebook marketing and how we set those things up and how to get things running there, because we were always like not profitable. We were also, because we were testing and we didn't have a clue about what we were doing. But one thing there, while I've been just like getting into Shopify and how things work there, I've always tried to code some things, but I was just like, I was so bad, but I was learning more. And then I've been thinking about like listing those things on Fiverr, because I've always got those ads from Fiverr. And then it started to
listing your services on Fiverr. Doing what?
Like the first thing I've totally forgot when I'm now recalling it. Like the first thing was probably even before Lily and Valentin. It was like presentations, because I've always got compliments in school for my great presentation or for the great design of my presentations. And then that's why I started Fiverr. And then I went like probably at $50 a month, which was great for me, like the first own money. And from there, I've started to listing more services, which I've been learning through Lily and Valentin. So for example, as I said, like programming Shopify, but even like designing Facebook ads, like so many weird small services. And then I've seen which things or where there was a need probably. And then I've always seen like program is like one of the biggest needs. And then, like as I mentioned before, but it's a very weird circumstance thing. I don't know how this happened, but then I've got like a contact like through or to an Swiss agency, and we've been just like talking about certain things because they wanted to have us like as a subcontractor. And then I've seen their like huge numbers for clients. Then the first time I've seen those like 10,000 euros or $10,000, whatever, for just one client, and then like everything in my mind changed, because now I've seen, oh wow, if you really add value, you can not just like try to work as fast as possible and just like be done with the client and then just like run away and then hate Fiverr, because like clients are not very happy probably. And then I've started to get more into this and that. And
so you had the realization of, instead of just chasing small little project, like a $50
and
project,
just for the money. So because for me, it was always about the money, because I've been trying to be like as efficient as possible, which is still important, but it was not, again, it was nothing that I was passionate about. So for me, it was just like, okay, those are $50. Okay, I have to do this as fast as possible, deliver it today, and then that's it. But then I've seen, okay, if you add value, you can do what you love, because you can really get into design. You can really get into understanding design, because like, if you're earning like €2 an hour, you're not very intrigued probably to learn more about it. You just want to do it as fast as possible, just to see shortcuts, but not to get into it and get better. So that's changed also for me. And then through the next steps, as I said, or like the things that changed for me through the agency about the pricing and how you can structure certain things. It just started that like Beyond Design has been getting bigger and bigger than Lily and Valentin. And as of course,
so just to understand your frame of thought. So you said you've seen the agency, you were like, oh my God, I don't have to do a $50 project. I can make $10,000 project. So that's when you actually opened up the agency and decided to treat yourself as an agency.
Yeah, so throughout this time frame, I've always tried to bring the clients away from Fiverr and into my own like email system or whatever, because like those.
So you already had the brand of Beyond Design, which is your agency.
But not so well thought out. So the website was also not very, very good. It was very, very weird communication. Just like, we're doing this and that, and then that's it. But this website was through Squarespace. So very, very easy, but not very good. So I'm always trying to get away from Fiverr, because I was not very happy with the pressure they have through Yeah, certain systems that are in Fiverr, because yeah, it's always very much that the client is above you, and they can, if there's one bad how's the word again, review, you're just like, it's not very easy for you to get another job after
Yeah.
that. And
But it
that's
sounds
what,
like, with Fiverr, you have, constant leads coming in. With
yes.
$10,000 projects, where do you even find these clients?
Yeah, so that's how it changed. Just like the mindset changed, and then I've started to approach old leads that I've known that make like huge numbers, or huge for me in this time, like 50,000 euros a month or something like that, probably. And then I've started to reach out to them and started to pitch certain things that I
From
can.
and you knew them from the previous days of direct to
Exactly.
consumer e-commerce websites. So they used to be
Yeah.
colleagues, and now you're
No,
like, hey,
those like one of the clients that changed a lot where was a client that I've been doing just like some minor programming in Shopify for like $800 or $700 probably, which was a very huge project for me then. And yeah, I started to reach out, and then we started about creating an offer which was like very big, and it didn't work out. But it just changed for me how I approach proposals, how I approach designing proposals, because like previously it was just like two bullet points, and then yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And then I started, okay, you have to get a bit more professional if you want to pitch those things. And yeah, and then I started learning, and then, as I said, like the agency was just like, or for me, how can I tell this? I was always, I never knew what I just wanted to do in life. I always knew I just wanted to do something by my own. But then through the agency, I started to see that I love building things. And before that, I always thought I just have to build a lot of companies. But then I started to realize, okay, you can build companies, but not your own with an agency. And you can always build new things, always design new things, and not like have a website there for like 2 years and nothing changes there. And then, yeah,
so
it was
instead
just
of
like,
chasing new businesses so that you're not bored, you can work on one business, but you get to explore new businesses through the different clients that you work with.
exactly. And you always have something different, and it's not always always the same as it's usually with your own brand
Yeah.
sometimes.
So you're not getting bored with it.
Yes, exactly. And then I started to realize, okay, that's what I like. That's where I can fit some needs. And then I started to create just like a product which we can pitch, because it was very, very hard for me at the start to find those bigger leads. And then we had to find a way to just like to create a product which you can pitch, because it's very bad to go to just like
So
an.
what was it? What was the offer? What was the offer that you
Yeah, I will
decided to
get
pitch?
into or to in a minute, but it was just like very bad to say, okay, so you have a website, why don't you want to make it prettier? So it's not a good pitch. You cannot, or it's very hard to pitch certain prices with that. And then I started getting into contact with like a or how do you call it in English, with a cold calling
Yep.
expert.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started to get into it and started to brainstorm how we can structure a product which you can cold call, because you always need
So
like
you took a coach to work with
no,
somebody
not
to
a coach,
help
but
you develop
just like
this, or
a connection. So I don't even know how it went, probably through LinkedIn. I got the connection with him, and then we were just like talking about it, and then he pitched me his service, and then I was his client. And then over the first months or so, we started to getting into the product, start to find out how we can pitch those things, and at least or like or really find the clients. Because first of all, I thought like, okay, great design is usually probably something good for like real estate clients. But it was very hard from my perspective or from my portfolio, where I've only had like e-commerce brands in it, to tell like a real estate client, okay, that's how it should look, and you cannot show anything out of your portfolio how it looks. And yeah, this way it was very, very hard to find our niche, find the need that we can serve. And
so
then
you
was just
didn't
like
immediately realize, well, I did
no.
e-commerce in the past, I should probably work with e-commerce clients. That was not
Yeah,
obvious to you?
no, because I had so many connections in e-commerce. I knew there's such great agencies in Germany for certain e-commerce things, and I was always very very how can you call it, like very anxious about it.
Yeah.
Because I always thought, oh no, like those are my connections, and then I'm trying to do something against them and
I'm
go
trying
into
to
their
compete
market.
with the people I know.
Yes, exactly. So that's why I just wanted to find different niches, but yeah, they didn't work out or not very good. And then throughout this whole time, the cold calling didn't work at all. But what worked was just like word of mouth and also LinkedIn. So we got like our first bigger client, which is a startup from Germany, and where we did like the whole or probably like UI or design for the whole project. So for the website, for how it works in the backend and so on. So it was very big. And then I started getting into Figma. And then I started to get into, okay, so that's how you can design certain things. And because previously I always designed website instantly in the app, or like instantly in Shopify or whatever. And that's why I've always had like very much or like limitations. And it was not very well thought out, probably.
Yeah, you didn't do custom work. You didn't do custom work.
Yes, exactly.
Custom design.
Yeah, and then I started getting into Figma, and then from that I started.
Can I dive deep on
Sure.
the topic of LinkedIn, just because I've never used LinkedIn that way? When you say I got a client from LinkedIn, what does that mean? Like, how do you just connect with them? Do you pitch to them? Do you talk in the DM? Like, how does that look like?
Yeah, it was actually just like connecting, and then they wrote me, because I've just I've been setting some things up there, for example, like the text, what we are doing, and so on. And then they came to me, but it was not a lot. So it seems right now, it seems like we were getting leads and leads, but it was very minor leads. But then I've been just, or for me, it was always trying to learn through a project. So I was never prepared for a project. I've always learned with it. I've always had to learn after like everything was set, and then I have to learn how to structure the proposal, the agreement, and so on. And it was always like from client to client, which was probably like 1 or 2 months between those. It was always getting bigger. It was always getting different, and I was always learning and learning. And yeah, through LinkedIn, it was just like that they wrote me, and but I've been, I don't know if you know the tool Lusha, probably.
Yes, they were my clients. There's a case study of, I designed their first website, so it's on the YouTube channel.
Oh, that's so great. I love the website, by the way. But yeah, so through that, I've came into like getting leads, or like just like understanding how certain things work there. I don't know how I came to that, probably through some commercials from them, because they have great commercials. And yeah, then I came onto those, and then I've started just like sending so many connection requests on LinkedIn, like so many, like a day. I always have like a checklist what I'm doing every day, and then I had like probably like 50 connections a day, which I was just searching until LinkedIn blocked me, and then just like connecting and yeah, seeing what works and what doesn't. And yeah, through that, like very
interesting. And you've mentioned that you were doing this while you had your clothing brand still working.
Yes.
So you were splitting your time between those two things.
Yeah, I was just working very heavily. So like usually like 10 to 15 hours a day. It's just was just like normal, because I loved it and was so thrilled about how much I'm learning. And it was very interesting at the time. But yeah, for me, it's just what it was just logical consequence to always have like two businesses. Because like if one fails and if one doesn't work, you can always rely on the other, and then you can always learn from the next one. For example, if we had an e-commerce client, I could always learn from their data for us, you know, and I could always learn from programming for Lily and Valentine for Beyond Design and so on. So it was very much like a harmonic way to work with two businesses, because they were very, very much related to each other. Yeah.
Very interesting, and actually sounds a little bit similar to how I used to work before Flux Academy. When I was freelancing, I also used to have the business Prospero, which was a SaaS business for proposals. So I used to work on that part-time, learn about marketing, learn about the tools, experiment, and then see what works, and then offer that as a service to my clients. So that is a cool approach.
Exactly.
So what happens when you see, you know, Beyond Design starts to grow? When did you got started hiring other people, or at what stage?
I think like at the first client, it was like $20,000 probably. Like was the first bigger client, not the first client.
And that was last year. This was 2021, or what year was that?
Oh, that's 2021. So
Got it.
that
So
was
this is
last year.
last year.
Yeah, that was like the biggest client that we've had then. And then I was just like, for me, because I'm always very much yes, I'm always thinking that things work out very fast and that they just work and I'm just doing it. And then I've just started to see, okay, this lead just came organic. Oh, wow, we have such a great service. We're so good. Okay, then I can just hire some people. And then I've hired the first people, or like the first programmer. So this way we were able to, expand our knowledge. And then we were just able to later on get more into Shopify, into certain things there. But
Was this a Shopify developer that you've
yes,
hired?
exactly. And and then for me, it was just like a logical consequence to just hire people just to get into it, because I think it's also something regarding prestige, because you want to say as an agency, if you always say us and we, you want to say that you're us and we. You always want to see, okay, we have an office, we have people in here and so on. So for me, it was, I didn't thought about it quite well, but it worked somehow, probably, I'd say.
Were you ever concerned about, well, I don't know if I'm going to have clients next month.
Yeah.
So what will happen if I can't afford to pay the team?
Yeah, so that was all through the time we had the cold calling time. So it was always costing me a lot of money, of course, because it's a very valuable niche that they're serving to us. But yeah, I've had like every 2 months it was very much a struggle. But this way, because I had certain costs that I have to get, or certain costs that I have to get for the company. So for example, if we have like I don't know, how do you call it in English? Oh, wait a second, I can translate it. Wait, that's very important, because it's a very important word here. Okay, wow, that's very easy. Fixed costs. So because this way I've had certain fixed costs, and then I've always had the pressure to get those things in. And then I was so very, very creative. I was just like doing so many weird things, just like going to local shops, or just like writing certain people, and just like writing so many emails, as I said, like LinkedIn connection and so on. So I was always trying to find ways, and always updating our portfolio, always updating our offer that we were creating. And that's because I always had the pressure to get those fixed costs in to pay like my first employee, which had a family. So that was also like very much pressure. So it was not an employee it was not a friend. It was just like a regular employee, how you know it. And that's why I always had the pressure. And then, that's probably why I've been always able to get those leads into, because
it sounds like you are super sales oriented. Like, I'm going to get the client, I'll go, like super sales oriented. Were you still doing design at that point? Yes. Or were you 100% on finding the clients? Like, how was your time balanced?
Yeah. So that's a hard question. I would probably still say like 50-50. So 50% marketing about the offer, creating it, and not cold calling. That was, or still like very hard for me, because like it's a very, very hard business, I think. But and then while doing this, we've had certain projects where I needed to design. So that's why I got into design. And that was probably like the time last year where I came to your videos. And that's why because I've been getting to know the design, or how I think certain things work. And then I've just seen that you can do a lot of things with Webflow. And if you know Webflow, then everyone knows you. So that was just like, I don't know, like YouTube algorithm, I think, right there. And then, I've seen your things, and then was just learning. So I was learning a lot of things for design, and learning by doing. And the same was for like the cold calling and marketing. So it was 50-50, I think.
So you've mentioned that Beyond Design started to make more money than the shirts business, the clothing business. Were you at some point decided to shut it off, or to like,
Yeah, so
or are you still, do you still manage both these businesses?
yeah, so there's so many weird circumstances there also. So because right when Beyond Design started to go off, my girlfriend, yeah, um, broke up with me, whatever. And that's why, like, as you see, the name Lily and Valentin, it was like always a business that we've done together. And then was just like another logical consequence to just or consequence
Split the business.
yeah, just to focus on Beyond Design. Yeah. So, and then like last year, like probably through the half of last year, it's starting to, or it was like 98% Beyond Design, 2% just like Lily and Valentine, where I was just testing certain things. Yeah.
Got it. So it's like split the kids. You took the Beyond Design. She got the clothing brand.
Probably, yeah.
Got it. Okay. So where are you right now with the business? Like share now you've mentioned office, you've mentioned, what can you share with us?
So what can I share with you? So yeah, so right now, so we're always like right now it changed that we have like bigger how can you call this, like bigger clients and way more data that we have and way better value propositions that we're offering. And
what is the average project size that you're doing right now?
Yeah, so right now we have a very, very fixed thing that we're always doing. So we are not, or from like since probably like start of the year, we're just doing this one project, or just like this one approach to a project, which is that we have, or that we're usually like relaunching e-commerce or D2C brands. So this is why we have like 3 steps. So the first step is data analysis. So we get very much into data and how people behave on the website, which pages perform good and bad, so it's very, very in depth. So it takes like 2 to 3 weeks just to get all those data, all that data from them. And then like the second part is getting into communication. So very much into their customer, or how their customers thinking, what they really want, because usually it's like for Shopify brands, they always started like bringing a product and then it just worked. And they usually don't know so well why it worked. And that's why we have the second part where we get a lot of data because of reviews. So we have a very, very specific thing that we're doing there. I cannot call like everything, as you probably know, but yeah, that's the second part. And then the third part is designing. So then regarding, or like based on the things on the first step and second step, then we're starting getting into design, or like first of all into wireframing, then design, and then bringing all those things into Shopify. And as those things take like 2 to 2.5 months and are very like big projects for us also, because we have like all those 7 people, or like on those projects, there are 5 people working on it. And that's why we were making sure, okay, we have a certain threshold to work with us, which is like 10,000 euros. So below that, it doesn't make sense to work with us because we don't have enough data. You're just like too small for us for our data approach there. And that's why we're only focusing on those projects. Like every project has the same structure, but still like very, very different outcome. Sure.
Got it. Nice. So you're on track for 7 figures in 2022, or nice. How much can you share how much you closed 2021?
Like for like revenue?
Yeah.
So right now, wait a second, let's just have get into this.
No, but for 2021, for last year.
For 2021, it was probably like the first half of the year, it was just like 50,000. And then just for you to know, to see how much we were growing. And then afterwards, it was like 250,000. Nice, so it was like way huge more. Growth. Yeah. And and right now it's between like 100, 150,000 a month, somewhere between that. Nice. And but like the first, like January, I don't know why, but like January and February were such good months for us. That's why we were getting a lot of leads for like the like until now. Right now we have to get more into our marketing or cold leads, and that's
fantastic. So what's next for you? What are you excited about for the rest of the year?
Oh, wow, that's a question. Yeah. So for me, I'm always thinking like very big, probably. And for me, it's just the beginning. I really want us to be like the biggest design agency for Shopify stores in Germany. So like for next year, the goal is to like 5 million, probably 5 to 6, and like 20 people. So I always have those KPIs for me. They're very rough KPIs, but they're just like workers. Can you call it this way? Yeah, probably. Like employees, yeah, this way. Sorry, employees and revenue. But for me, I'm always seeing like, because we're getting such good outcomes for our clients. That's why we're now right now starting into also our another brand. So another clothing business, which is like very, very different from the first one, but also like a music label. So we're trying a lot of things out there, but yeah, so I just love to do such weird things.
I got 2 questions for you as a business owner. Number one, are you managed to run the business without, or are you still working 10, 15 hours a day, or are you more? Yeah. And you're not like burning out, getting tired. You're just enjoying working on it because you're like 21 and you're like, who needs to do other things besides work?
So I really enjoy working on it, but what I'm not enjoying, so what's very stressful is when like a huge project has or needs to get online, for example, like tomorrow, and we've seen certain things that don't work on Safari and on iPhones. Always Safari for us. Always certain things about that, and then we just, or like those are the hardest days, because then I'm just like waking up at 8 a.m. and then working through the night, and then till like 3 a.m. the next day. And it's very stressful, but at the end, I love having this stress, because that's always what I wanted. And like last year, or like probably before last year, like 2020, it was always for me like, oh, I would love to see such many or such huge projects, just to see how much we can really do and really handle and so on. So it's always what I've once wished for. So I don't want to, or for me, I don't want to be like, okay, now it's so much stress and I don't like it. But yeah, that's what you wished for. That's what you wanted. So yeah, and for me, I just love it. And yeah, it's probably between like 10 to 15, probably more like 10 to 12 hours. I think like 15 hours, very, very rare.
Yeah. Thank you for being honest about this. Last question. You know, I know a lot of people, especially in e-commerce, by the way, like to talk about big revenues and, you know, team size. But at the end of the day, that might not necessarily always translate into profit because you've got a bunch of expenses. Do you manage to keep the agency profitable at the end of the day?
So, as I said, I was always, very much focused on getting enough leads and just like calculating certain things, how much is needed and so on. And that's why we've been able to always be profitable at the end of every month since like the middle of last year, 2021. And it was still hard sometimes. So, like, as I said, I still have sometimes like the problems to get enough leads in it, because like we have huge fixed costs each month. But I just love the pressure there, because this way you're getting creative. I think, or for me, that's just my opinion. If you are by yourself, but if you have huge fixed costs for yourself, then it's still the same. But if you have like fixed costs, if you have to get certain numbers each month, you're always gonna get it, because like you have it in your hand as the CEO or CEO. That's not how I call me, like as a founder. You always have it in the hand to get to clients, to call them, to write emails, to ask friends of friends of friends if they would like to do certain things about it and whatever. So yeah. You just need pressure. Or for me, I just need pressure to get into it.
Nice. All right, Valentin, thank you so much for sharing your story and being open and so transparent with me. I super appreciate it. Anything else you want to finish off? Maybe a tip for other 21-year-olds starting their own business that you wish you knew when you were just getting started?
Yeah. That's a good question. But being honest, I would really say probably like a course of yours, because if I would just, if I would have just learned those things that you're offering for just like $400, $500, I would have saved so much money and so much nerves and just so much time. Probably like for one course, probably like half a year, easily, like very easily.
Nice. I
So
appreciate it.
like
Thank you.
really try to understand that if you're using your money to invest in yourself, okay, everyone says that, but to invest in certain things where people are where you want to be, this way it's just like $500 or even like $1,000 to see what someone does where they are, where you want to be. It's not that much money. It always seems to be like so much, but it's such a huge leverage
I
to
appreciate
learn
it.
those things. But like really, it doesn't have to do something with you there. I would do everyone just like to, yeah, to
Nice.
talk with
If
people
people
there.
want to reach out and connect with you, where's the best place? LinkedIn or Twitter, or
Yeah,
where
I
should
think
people
like
reach out?
LinkedIn and yeah, probably LinkedIn. LinkedIn's the
Fantastic.
best way.
All right, Valentin, thank you so much. I'll catch
Okay,
you next
thank you
time.
so much. Thank you
Peace.
for your time.
Bye.
Bye bye.